How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another My Saucy Opinion. We have, I would say, a pretty good movie this time around.
Mm-hmm.
This week, Argylle came out, or Agent Argylle. And I don't want to say I had high expectations for this movie, but upon watching the trailer and the cast list and seeing the posters, you're like, hey, this is going to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But the film started off very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it ended bad, but it could have ended in bad. Yeah, it ended very interestingly. So as always, we won't get into any spoilers or details. We'll keep this all spoiler free. The ending felt very, I would say jumbled.
Drawn out.
Yeah, drawn out and jumbled. There was many of moments where you'd feel it kind of concluding and maybe the movie would possibly end here, and then you're like, whoa, a twist, and then
yeah, just kept going. And I was like, oh, it's almost done, and then yeah, a twist, and then you're like, okay, now we're almost done. Not that it was like a long movie, but I just like I kept thinking it was gonna conclude, and then it didn't.
Yeah, so it's not a bad thing, but when it happens like 4 or 5 times, you just kind of want it to be over already, you know? I thought this movie was a pretty good take on the kind of, I want to call them author movies, where like an author is controlling the story of the movie. So we saw it with the Sandra Bullock one, Lost Temple, and then I think that there was another one, I just can't remember. Yeah, so it had that same concept that you've seen before, but it still felt fresh. It didn't feel like you had seen this movie before by any means.
I didn't even remember the other movies you were talking about until you told me. So I went in like, this is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, I'd say the big stars of the film were, strangely enough, John Cena and Henry Cavill, in my opinion. Just because, I say stars because every time they were on scene, the movie was really good, if that makes sense. Like, when they were on, it was never a dull moment. It was always crazy. It was, like, the beginning, he was using his car like a skateboard around the city or something, and it was, you're like, what the heck is going on? Like, it's just not bland, it's not dull.
You're like, where is this like, what a start to a movie. Like,
yeah, it was very
so
wacky.
Like, yeah.
Very wacky. I will say though, I wish we saw more of them in the film, so you don't see them as much as you'd hope to. I feel like that's not a spoiler, but it's a little bit like seeing Zendaya in the first Dune movie. Like, if you went to see Dune for Zendaya, you might not enjoy the movie because she's not in it that much, you know? So if you went to see this movie for John Cena and Henry Cavill, you might be a little like, wait, what the hell is this movie? This doesn't have John Cena in
Dua
it.
Lipa, our friend went with, and she's like, even our guy friend was like, I wish there's more Dua Lipa in there.
Even I wish there was more Lipa, like, Dua me more, come on. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe if they had ended the movie how they started it, it could have, maybe would have been a little bit better. Again, keep it spoiler free, so I'm not going to say what happens in the end. I will say, though, the very first twist in the movie got me really good.
There were a couple that I...
Definitely had me kind of raising a brow,
yeah.
You know?
We looked at each other once or twice like, what the heck? But I never see twists and turns coming. Ben is good at like predicting them, so it's always a shock to me.
I know. Something I found very interesting was that this movie seemed to have been funded by Apple.
Yeah, it was an Apple original film.
So I don't know if Apple is gonna start putting out theater movies regularly now, and you're gonna start seeing them as like a Sony or a Warner Bros. Or a...
Usually it would be straight to Apple TV
that's what I was
if
thinking.
they did that, but it was Universal
I saw that
and
Apple logo.
Film.
I kind of like, whoa,
I know.
you know? And I think Apple was big into the movie game, but I guess they're trying to dip their toes in the sand, you know?
They have a lot of stuff on their Apple TV, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one in theaters.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Like, imagine if they had put that Tom Hanks Battleship in theaters. Probably would have done a lot better. We probably would have seen it.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so.
Exactly. It's called Greyhound.
And
he commands like a battleship in World War II. My dad was all over it. If you know a dad, you know they're all over World War II movies. So it kind of seems like they're going to make another one of these if it does well, box office wise. And I don't know. I just think I hope if they do, that they just use John Cena and Henry Cavill more and just make it an actual spy film, because it already was an actual spy film. If that
it would
makes
almost
sense.
be like a completely different
We can't get too deep into it without spoiling stuff here. But because there's lots of layers to this film. There's like you think you peeled the onion and then it's like a gobstopper, you know. There's even more holes down there. Yeah. Okay, I guess we gotta rate this now. How? I want to say, I think this movie had some heat. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's enough to be spicy.
No.
Because Godzilla was spicy, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, you gotta compare them, you know? So you can't...
I think maybe, too, I was a little upset it wasn't more of a comedy. I was expecting maybe a little more, like, laughs in there.
Yes.
It was I don't know how to explain it.
I was going in expecting to, like... Oh boy, I'm ready to die. Like, this is going to be a funny movie.
Just like some good... There were a couple in there, but like, I was expecting more, I feel like. After seeing the trailer...
I wasn't dying.
It is not even that the trailer portrayed it as funny, but I just went in with a comedy mindset for some reason.
I think you see
probably what it's labeled.
That set of actors, and you see Bryan Cranston as a villain and Samuel Jackson. You're like, oh, this is a kind of like a Kingsman.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Garment, we're so close.
So I think plugging this one into the sauce meter here, we're gonna have to put it at, it had some heat, because it was a really good movie.
Actors were good too.
I just think it could have been a lot better.
It just lost me at one point where I was kind of just... You
get to the end and you're a little tired. I was yawning myself and kind of like stretching, and
I loved the first half, and it was good, and it was spy movie, and it was like
good
mystery, you know.
Yeah, it was very good.
And then it just lost me. Just a little bit, not completely.
Yeah, I could tell you what point, but we don't want to spoil stuff, so yeah, we'll let you figure that out for yourself. Post credit scene didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So, this isn't really spoilers, because who cares about post-credit scenes, right?
Sometimes they matter, but this one I don't know where they're going with it, so.
They teased the Kingsman?
The King's Man.
Not Kingsman, Kingsman. The man. So it's like... And then the guy in the post-credit scene was Agent Argylle in the Kingsman?
Yeah.
But then there's also Henry Cavill shows up at the end too, and you're like, huh?
Oh yeah.
What is he doing here?
I thought
he's in the story. There's a lot of weird questions, and so you think they might make a movie too, just because there's a lot of loose ends, like she ends her books in the movie. There's too many Agent Argylles, dude. Maybe that's it. Because everyone in this movie says they're Agent Argylle. Because I thought the cat was Agent Argylle. Then I thought the dude that came in on the train was Agent Argylle. But then someone else was Agent Argylle.
Agent Argylle.
But then Henry's Agent Argylle. But then it's like, but then that Kingsman dude at the end is Agent Argylle. It's like, there's too many Argylles. And then there's Argylle. Kyle. Give me a break here, guys. It's too many. It's too much. It's too much. We got to end it here.
I don't like spoiler free. I like to talk about movie. My brain can't process spoiler free. That's why there's no thoughts.
You're not coming to watch the plot of the movie.
Hear the whole thing.
Yeah, because then why go see the movie?
I'd save
yourself?
you $20 at the theater if you go see it in Dolby.
Not if you have AMC's A-list.
No, you got
featuring Nicole Kidman.
Well, yeah.
We come to AMC
to dream.
For this, to dream, because we are AMC. Come on, they make movies better. You gotta give it to them. I think overall this is a good, fun, like, I would say family film. I would take my kid to see this movie.
I was gonna tell my family to go see it.
There wasn't anything in this movie that I would say, I don't want my kid seeing that. You know, like, it was very just kind of a fun spy film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing bad and nothing out of this world spectacular. But you don't need it to be, you know?
Mm-hmm. I kind of I think I'd rewatch it. Maybe at home.
It would be a good one of the, I know there's not cable anymore, but it would be a good one, like, you catch it on live TV and you're like,
you turn it on.
Oh, hey, I remember this movie. Like, this is actually pretty good. Like, I might actually sit down and rewatch this. Hey, well, I think that's about it for this Saucy Opinion. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.